Welcome back to the Fanboy Cantina, and we are talking about Hawkeye and the back half of the series on Disney Plus. Hawkeye has just been just a joy to watch, and here we are joined by Mr. C. Mr. C, how are you doing today?
Happy to be here as always in what maybe possibly most likely will be our last show of the 2021 calendar year. Whereas in golf, the back nine goes from 18 and down, 18 up to 10. So here with the back half, when the six are in the half. So here we're at 4, 5, and 6, and eager to dig into the material to break down Hawkeye episodes 4, 5, and 6.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And if you are joining us live, as always, please post in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, Mr. C, you have knocked it out of the park today.
Well, let's jump into that, I guess, first, and then we'll come in some scheduled or some scripted business in a bit. But yeah, so whereas last time I dug up a purple shirt in tribute to Daredevil, so this time I thought I'll go the other way and go tribute to Kingpin, because how awesome was it? Post-holiday Hawkeye is right. How awesome was it, and is it that Kingpin is back in the Netflix series? That Kingpin was such a menacing, intimidating presence, such an amazing translation of his gangster persona from the page of the comic books into the small screen or the streaming screen. And so how could I not do a little bit of a Kingpin tribute? So whereas his traditional was to go maybe white shirt, white coat, or black shirt, white coat, he did pull a bit of a Hawaiian shirt in the current business. So I did a slight
Nice.
tribute to that. We got a little bit of palm trees in there. So I don't have the exact Hawaiian shirt that he had, but I wanted to do kind of a mashup kind of a business. So thank you, Junkyard, for acknowledging the wardrobe game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did. I somewhere have a white sport coat, but I could not find it for the life of me. My wife has probably hid it in Goodwill or something else, probably at this point. But I did manage to wear a Hawaiian shirt in tribute of Kingpin as his appearance in Hawkeye. All right. So, how was your holiday, Mister C?
Holiday's good. Holiday's good. There's yeah, it's put the tree together, get the decorations together, get the food together, get the family together. So it was good stuff. How was your holiday, good sir?
My holiday was good too. It was kind of low key in my house. I did get this shirt, not the Hawaiian shirt. This hungry had cat hungry which way hungry caterpillar Eric Carl shirt from my daughter. So I do like that, and I'm wearing that today.
That classic story, that
Yeah,
caterpillar.
right there. I can never be like a meteorologist or like I cannot figure out after how many of these things I still can't figure out the left and right thing while
Maybe
we are doing
maybe
it.
one day, maybe we just need more reps, or maybe it'll forever be a conundrum for us. But I
Maybe I
share
just have a problem. That's right.
I share your process in that.
All right. So let's talk about our original predictions. So not that long ago, what, 3 weeks ago, we did this show. We talked about the first half of the Hawkeye series, the 3 episodes under the belt, and we had some predictions. How well did we do? What did we get right?
Well, geez, which way to open with? I guess I'll just say, well, you did better than me, and I don't know, were we a show of a different production quality? We might have some stats, but just opening up with you landed some wrong. I landed all of mine wrong. You landed one of yours right. I landed zero of mine right. So which way would you care to enter those waters first?
Well, yeah. I mean, we did call, well, one thing we did call right was Kingpin, right? We did expect Kingpin to make it. It was very heavily signaled in the first 3 episodes, and we got a glimpse in the episode 5, right? The image from the phone, and then by the finale, it's more than it was substantially more than what we expected, right? It wasn't just a glance or a teaser at the end. It was a lot of Kingpin, so that was very satisfying. We got that one. Maybe it was more than, but we got at least that.
Okay, I'll maybe I didn't correctly incorporate that Kingpin prediction into my stats. So yes, we definitely got that. The other one that you landed right, which I was so off, were I an archer shooting towards a target, I would have not only missed the bullseye, I would have missed the target altogether. Whereas you placed a perfect bullseye to this one, that that Jack, who I was figuring was a adaptation of the swordsman. Well, Jack did not murder Armand as you had landed. I'm like, well, if it smells like a duck, if it smells like a swordsman, if the guy has a sword run through him, then it's the swordsman who killed him. And boy, was I off on that one because you had nailed it. It was Kate's mom.
Yeah, it was Kate's mom. Yeah, and I mean, I think what I said was I would not be surprised if it was Kate's mom. I think, yeah, it was just so on the nose, right? In the first three episodes, dude has this thing about swords. Armand killed by a sword, probably sword dude. And then, but in a series like this, in the MCU, yeah, you can't. It's not going to end up that way. There's going to be an unexpected turn of some kind. You can expect the unexpected turn. Yeah. So yeah.
One of the other points of speculation we had was the watch, right? There were 3 items from the underground black market auction: Ronan's sword, Ronan's costume, and this watch. So what was the deal with the watch? I had a spontaneous speculation as we were speaking last time that maybe a watch was related to time or to time travel. And so maybe the watch would somehow feed into Kang the Conqueror and how he would be viewed in the third Ant-Man movie coming up. So that might still yet happen, but not. It could. But the watch had a different, more direct connection, and that was to Hawkeye's wife, who was revealed to be Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I think the jury is still out of what the significance of the watch is. It with the ending, you get that reveal. You get to see who Laura Barton, right? I think that's her name. Who Laura Barton may actually be. She is Agent 19. That is the inscription at the bottom of the back of the watch with the shield insignia there. But why was the tracksuit mafia after this watch? What was the significance? It's got sentimental attachment. It sets up for that reveal at the end, but what was the big deal about the watch? We still don't know. So it could be that. Yeah, I don't think. I thought maybe it's an Iron Man suit or something. Maybe it was a Tony Stark watch or something like that. That's probably not the case here.
But we have the who, but we don't have the what, the why, the where, the how.
That's right. That's right. Any other predictions that we? Oh, I thought that Kate Bishop's dad was going to reappear because in the IMDb, it showed that he was going to be appearing in 4 episodes, but instead, in reality, we only saw him in the single one. So that was a bit of a head fake, and I think I did say I was disappointed that we were not going to see the Rogers musical again. But that was tremendously satisfying. What actually happened.
Again, I would pay to see that show. I have no idea what's the rest of the show besides that one musical number or that one segment of that musical number. But Rogers, I Can Do This All Day is definitely a live show. I would pay the money to get in the door and check it out.
See, I don't know if I would actually in reality want to see that show. There was a Spider-Man musical that was on Broadway, and it was, I think, a colossal failure if I remember right. And yeah, it was fun to watch it. Hulk in the green sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a matinee of some kind. Maybe not full price.
Okay, matinee. We'll split it matinee.
Yeah. Was it Coulson's watch? No, it's not Coulson's watch, unfortunately, because it seems to be her watch. It seems that's a good question. Could actually Agent 19 be Phil Coulson? I don't think that.
Well,
Um,
but so if she had a watch and Colson had a corresponding, not the same watch, but say
mhm.
the same line of watches that Shield agents wear, I'm trying to, if Junkyard could help us out. I know Junkyard was a student of the TV show Agents of Shield. I can't remember how did Colson's watch come into play in the TV show, but just the fact that they're James Bond influenced spies as the Shield organization, and Bond had all kinds of gadgets and gadgetry and gimmicks. So
I
they,
don't know. I mean, well, Coulson had all kinds of bags of tricks, or he had a big bag of tricks. One time he had this thing. It was like a holographic Captain America shield that appeared in the series, and that was cool. Um, I don't remember anything about the watch though,
yeah.
necessarily, specifically. Maybe the watch was the thing that did the holographic. It's been a while since I last saw an episode of Agents of Shield. Um, Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark musical, music by Bono and the Edge.
Yeah, that was dark. They tried to turn off the dark, but things turned dark on them. I didn't actually see the content; just only the story was that it
Yeah.
was not drawing in. Word of mouth was not so good on that production, soon to be shut down.
Hmm.
Good effort, though. Good effort.
So let's do the quick recap of sorts here. And so I'm going to flip up on the screen. There were 4 episodes, excuse me, 6 episodes in the overall series. There are 3 that we have not covered yet, and that we are covering here today. Those 3 are Partners, Am I Right? And Man Alive, I cannot read that screen. What the heck does it say?
Oh,
Secrets are revealed and hard truths emerge, culminating in a battle against the 2 opposing forces. Episode 5 was Ronin. A fallout nearly derails their partnership, but Kate makes a discovery that changes everything. And the season finale, So This Is Christmas, Clint and Kate's partnership is tested as they have, as they face the consequences of exposing the conspiracy. Man alive, I need like a bigger screen, perhaps, or something, to be able to read the title. Let me get this off the screen. All right, so where should we go first here, Mr. C?
well, yeah, just as those attention grabbing subtitles there are setting you up for it, the plot advanced, the characters interacted, things were revealed that were previously unknown or previously misdirected or previously undiscovered, and that changed the relationship between the characters. I think just from those titles, Am I Right? And Ronin, and So This Is Christmas, in each of those main titles, I think they're collectively referencing what one of the characters was hoping for, what was the direction, the aim of one of the characters. So, Partners, Am I Right? Kate Bishop wants to be recognized as partners with Clint Barton. Ronan was recognizing, as my interpretation of the one word title, Ronan Hawkeye Clint Barton wanted to wrap up all of the Ronan business and shut it down, put it to bed, and the existence of the Ronan character. Yet for Echo, her connection to that character as she conceived of it at that time was to extract revenge for the death of her father. And then, So This Is Christmas. Well, that was all Hawkeye wanted from the beginning, was to just get home and spend Christmas with his family. And that plays into that classic superhero dilemma of their responsibilities to greater society while they have the costume on, and then their set of responsibilities to their families or their nearest and dearest when they are out of costume or in their civilian life.
Yeah, some comments here. I wish Frozen, the live stage, went dark, and I will be prepared. Okay, for the book of Boba Fett, which premieres in what hours, actually, right?
Really? Well, that'll give me something to do in a few hours then.
Yeah, not the 29th, right? couple.
I'm
Okay, so
completely
48
uncertain.
hours.
You've
Yeah.
exposed my ignorance once again.
Any props today for the live stream? Yeah, I do have one. I do have one. In addition to Mr. C and the Kingpin outfit, I do have. So I did get this. This is Daredevil parts of a whole, and this is the introduction of the Echo character. I have not read this in quite a long time. The last time I checked this out was when it first came out in the original comic form, and so I don't remember. I don't remember much of this story anymore. So I'm looking forward to getting reacquainted with this.
As I
That's my
look
one
at
prop.
as I look at the cover of your one prop, it becomes clear to me, right, to create a visual of a person in on a comic book page roughly 20 years ago, and now to find an actress that has some kind of presence and some kind of physical similarity to it.
Yeah.
So I'll say that the actress in the role of Echo is maybe even more similar in her look to the drawn depiction of Echo than what I had realized.
No, I think that's true. I think that's true. I'm very much looking forward to. Yeah, I forgot that all of the different artists that had worked on this Marvel Knights series. So flipping through it, I was surprised here. Anyways, looking forward to checking it out. And yes, very close likeness to the Echo character in the comic book. So that's my prop.
All right.
Uh, where should we go next? Oh, Yelena. So we did know that Yelena was going to be appearing in the series. That was clear from IMDb. It was teased in one of the trailers as well before diving into episode 4. So we knew that was coming. I really liked the formation of this character. I'm not sure if the kind of comedic, you know, the love fest that was happening between Yelena and Kate, whether that was entirely believable, but it made for good TV. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I think it also sets up for Yelena to maybe not be down that dark path, but instead to be the new Black Widow for the Avengers.
I think that Yelena was played similarly to, I was about to say Carlton Fisk. I watched the Christian Harloff review, and he said Carlton Fisk instead of Wilson Fisk, and I made a note to myself to not, but yet here it was on the tip of my tongue to say Carlton Fisk. That being
Pudge
said,
would be great in the series. How much of an how exciting would that be? What the
Pudge,
heck is this?
Chicago legend, Pudge Fisk. Okay, so Yelena and Kingpin are played in a similar way. Here's this character with this physicality, with this ominous, menacing presence, which then creates anxiety and tension in for the viewer, for the audience to raise the question, what's going to happen next? What is about to happen? So when Yelena is first in the apartment of Kate, what Kate's not expecting to have company by any kind of
Mhm.
a way. So yeah, it was definitely a Tarantino like menacing, foreboding. Oh, is this going to turn into? Is Kate
Mhm.
equipped enough at this early stage of her heroing career to handle this battle trained, more advanced in her assassin skills? But then it was again it played a bit for comedy. Uh, so really interesting. So whereas Yelena and Wilson Fisk both had a menacing presence,
Mhm.
then as a starting point, then they both went in really different directions from that starting point.
Yeah, on the fighting between Kate and Yelena, I don't. I think it was okay. I think it worked for me. Right? We talked about my issues with the first episode, where Kate Bishop has not been in this kind of brawl before. As far as we know, right? She's been in tournaments. She's trained black belt in martial arts, and obviously a very skilled archer. So you get all of that, but it can be different. It's different when you're fighting for your life. Here with Yelena, you have somebody who is a trained assassin from childhood, going against Kate Bishop, and it's almost toe to toe. Yeah, you know, it's a little bit of a struggle for me.
Well, I'll say the Elena training makes the Cobra Kai training look like the kiddie slope. It's no mercy taken to 11.
Yeah,
Uh, I'll say that for again, Elena has some. I'm anticipating. I'm interpreting as she
yeah,
was written. She had some kind of respect for young Kate. I don't know how much backstory research Elena did on Kate, but she's got a Kate is younger her. So where Natasha and Yelena were the mentor mentee, older sister, younger sister connection. So now Yelena's slotted into the part of the relationship that Natasha had with Yelena. So now here's Yelena. Kate could just as well be a younger sister or a mentee figure. Yelena sees herself in Kate, and therefore in their battle goes easy on her, or has some kind of, whether it's a respect or whether it's
hmm
some other positive emotional connection there, that would again justify why the more skilled combatant of Yelena went easy on Kate during their battle. That being said, as Netflix was known for their hallway fights, now we have an elevator battle, which different style of fight choreography, but that classic, oh, don't push all the buttons. And Kate got there, and pushed all the buttons and frustrated and thwarted Yelena's progression in that moment. So that was some good stuff.
yeah. I love that because it is a Christmas series, and so the whole touching all the buttons, that is right out of Elf, right? With the
Yeah,
Buddy
absolutely.
the Elf does that, going in the elevator. Here it's going down instead of up. Yeah, I really love that moment, given the Christmas backdrop here. And I think you're right that Yelena was definitely pulling her punches after they have the fight scene in the season in the finale episode. She says, "Yeah, that was fun." Right, and they're talking about the moves. That was fun, and then she jumps out the window. A good drinking game would be, taking a shot every time Yelena leaves someplace by jumping out the window instead of taking stairs or a doorway. You'd be blitzed very quickly. But some questions in the comments here. Sorry, back to Echo. Do you have any insight on an Echo spinoff?
I think
I
it's
don't
on
think
the
we know much.
books. Well, I don't have the details. I don't know what my source is, but somewhere it floated into my ears and into my head that Echo's getting her own series. When is it going to be released and all that? I'm completely unsure. But to me, that would create the opportunity to dig back further into the Echo and Kingpin relationship, and that'll be maybe a point of entry to speak on this theme that's going to play out across characters. uh, Kingpin manipulated Echo by accusing Ronan of killing Echo's father, and therefore was utilizing Echo as multiple manipulations, but specifically utilizing Echo then against Hawkeye, against the Kate Bishop. Uh, so as things came to unfold,
Hmm
as Hawkeye, in his again pulling punches confrontation with Echo, dropped certain key pieces of information that Echo maybe wanted to question or explore or investigate what really happened that night that her father died. Uh, so that changed the nature of Echo's relationship to Hawkeye, and then she again became she did the turn to go against Kingpin. So I would say that the Echo Disney Plus series is the perfect grounds through which to explore further Kingpin versus Echo material.
Yeah, it seems that Vincent D'Onofrio confirmed in the press that the Kingpin that you see in this series is the same Kingpin that you saw in the Netflix series. I felt like the approach to the character, how it's realized in film, was quite different. Less of that dramatic foreboding kind of feeling that you get in the Netflix series, but I'll still believe it. Yeah, I think I would certainly expect in the Echo series that this has now been set up for a confrontation between Kingpin and Echo, and also through other parts of the MCU, we may see a certain other Netflix character appear. I would not be surprised about that.
Would this be somebody who just had a relatively short amount of screen time in the most recent Spider-Man motion picture? Is that?
That's correct. Yes, short amount of screen time, but how satisfying.
But hey, well done. So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to the return of Charlie Cox's Daredevil. I would figure at some point he'll get his next season to come to pass through Disney Plus, and there's no reason why he can't be used on the big screen. Also, we just jumping out of Hawkeye for a brief time here as we're speculating what's coming up with Echo and other series. So we know Moon Knight is also in production, a street level character. So 11, 12, 21, Disney Twitter Echo series coming soon. Okay, release date to be determined. Thank you, Mr. Idahar. Good to know the specifics. It's on coming soon status.
Yep. Another thing. Topic jumping a little bit here. Going back to Yelena, I really appreciated Yelena using a more Russian use of addressing Kate with a full name, since Kate does not have a patronym, and so that's a good call out. Every time Yelena, Yelena, so we should do it properly. Yelena Belova refers to Kate, she says Kate Bishop in full name. And of course, the way back, the more American way to respond is called just Yelena. She may not know Yelena's last name for that, as far as we know. But Kate always calls Yelena just Yelena. I was having issues with the accents. Florence Pugh is British, and she does a good, I think, Russian accent, maybe a little bit heavy. So it was good. With the Tracksuit Mafia, they speak Polish, actually. That's clear from the subtitles in episode 1. But it's like this weird mashup of like New York and Russian and something else, like a caricature of different accents brought to life. It's fun enough. It's okay. Anyways. All right. What else should we cover in terms of relationships here?
All right.
Mr.
Well,
C?
speaking of props and relationships, I was trying.
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
I was trying to get everything straight in my head. So partners, am I right? So Clint and Kate, Clint at first was hesitant or reluctant. He didn't want to take on a partner. His most recent pure partner, Natasha, had passed on, and that was a very bad thing for him. So they eventually cultivate their partnerships. I was saying Clint's higher purpose to get back to his family, Kate's earlier higher purpose or anchor or source of strength being her mom. But as her mom had a turn to be all her murderous ways and duplicitous connections with the Kingpin were revealed. So that was a turn then for Kate. So after that was clear to Kate, then her higher purpose or her greatest connection became Clint. As we can see, they both had some interaction with the LARPer squads there. We already referenced Echo and Clint having the battle in which Clint was pulling his punches, and how Kingpin had set in motion for Echo to go after Clint. But as Clint revealed the truth to her, then the flow went back the other way. Kazi had a brief interaction with Clint where he was just trying to have Kazi warn Echo, but as we could see, Kazi couldn't be in two worlds, was under the influence of Kingpin. Kingpin and the goons then, as it could have made a bigger circle around it or a triangle, but definitely Kingpin, the influence of Kingpin, what I'm trying to say, was all around all of the characters. Let me not read backwards for a minute here. As we already addressed, Yelena and Kate were maybe a little bit mutually impressed, maybe had some mentor-mentee relationship going. The connection between Clint and Yelena, again, Kingpin and Kate Bishop's mom send Yelena to go after Clint. Clint reveals the truth to her about what happened with Natasha. So then Yelena turns her intent, instead of being a combatant for Clint, to have a moment where at least it's implied that they're sharing their grieving for Natasha Romanov together. So it was very interesting to me to have all the connections and relationships between the characters. The idea of the arrow of truth being let loose from the bow to be able to what do we got here?
Oh boy. Can from the chat, can I get that Mr. C diagram as a PDF, or at least put a link in the description for an image of it? New segment, I sense Mr. C diagrams. Yeah, I don't know about
Well,
that.
again, if we had a higher production quality, this would have been maybe a PowerPoint with some
I mean,
additional.
I got like a whiteboard right here, right?
There we go.
Yeah, and all one color. Yeah. Well, let me ask you something about that diagram. So, with the relationships, let's talk about the relationship between Clint and Echo. Are they good now? Are they okay?
I don't know how they could be 100% good
I don't
because
think so.
trying to get in Echo's perspective, you still it's still floating around for her for however long it's been that she was told that Ronan murdered her father, but then Hawkeye created the Ronan character. So I would say she's still coming out of the spell or the duplicity, out of the deception that Kingpin and Kazi had perpetrated on her. So I would say she has well, she's not out to kill Clint anymore, but she definitely has to, how could her mixed feelings not spill over into a conflictual relationship between her and Clint Barton?
I mean, she was there. She was there when her father died. She saw the masked figure jump out the window or whatever. So I can't imagine that, even with the explanation that there was an informant and it was Kazi who was the informant. I don't know. I don't think they can be okay, right? It's still Ronan who killed her father.
The wound is still raw.
Yeah, yeah. Older comment here. I want horseback. Mr. C diagram is all picture pages style, minus Bill Cosby. That's a different story. Okay, that's great.
Comments, comments are good.
Let's talk about maybe Kingpin for a little bit. I'm looking at my not as eloquent notes off to the side here. Really enjoyed the battle that happens with Kingpin. I enjoyed how much of Kingpin we actually got in the season finale. Did not expect that, as we said. I don't. So I'll be honest with you. I still have yet to get through all of the Daredevil series. I got through all of season one. I'm somewhere, I think, halfway in early on in season two. It's a great series. It's just taken me a while to get through it. So, what was your take on how well Kingpin was represented in this series? Because you've seen the show more extensively than I. How well was he represented, and what did you think of the battle between Kingpin and Kate?
Ooh, that's a real good two-parter there. I think he was really well translated. Again, we're saying Netflix was a different target audience, yet an overlap audience with Disney Plus. So Disney Plus is clearly supposed to be more family friendly, and Netflix was supposed to be more pushing boundaries towards what violence was acceptable within the show. For Kingpin himself, he seems that he's powered up a bit. So how did that happen? That's another good dangling thread, because to be shot with an arrow, peel it right off, to be hit by a car, and then to get up in the next few minutes. So his power levels are again, another dangling thread to be revealed. As far as his, I don't think he was trying to pull his punches with Kate. I think it was partly luck and his unfamiliarity with the tools that were in her quiver. I think just by good, but then that was a real nice nuanced moment as she was practicing the coin flip to make contact with something, turn off the TV, turn on the blender, what have you, that she, in combat with him, lifted up one of his cufflinks, which, going back to the Netflix series, it was made a big deal of his whole persona, being so
Mm.
grounded. Like his cufflinks were clearly part of his physical intimidation persona. And so for her to utilize one of his mini trademarks against him to activate all that
Nice.
electric magnet arrow stuff, that was a real well-crafted scene. And again, if not for that, I mean, she was lost. She was not going to win. She was not, could not. There's no way for her to defeat Kingpin, but for dumb luck. And well, so she did apply a highly specific, and it worked the way she landed on the target and activated the arrows. But boy, oh boy, it was a bit lucky, a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill. She made it through. But
I
then,
didn't think that Kingpin as a character was that. Like he was like the Thing almost. It's just impervious to injury. There's an explosion and he's still okay. He gets hit by a car, still okay.
so there's definitely something amiss there. And again, in comics, they, from when he was first a Spider-Man villain till later on in Spider-Man, till later on in Daredevil, they adjusted his strength level or his powers a touch. So again, I look for more exploration of how all that comes to play.
Yeah.
I do want to also note for Kingpin, just his use of his face, his use of his voice, the pace of his speech, very different from, say, the Michael Corleone interpretation, rendered either by De Niro or by Marlon Brando, but conceptually, structurally a bit similar, that there's going to be this specific way of speaking that's to be taken very seriously. And so I hadn't previously thought to compare Kingpin to Don Corleone, but they're both mob bosses and they're both at the height of their powers and not to be trifled with.
Yep. Yeah, no, we're not. No, we're not doing that. Although, if you are interested in merch, we'll add the merch description link to the merch store down in the description. I think I did that actually already. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, if you want to wear the Fanboy Cantina in your everyday life, I think the link is down in the description. All right. What other relationships should we touch on here? Oh, wait a minute. We have another comment in the chat. Junkyard adds, I thought Kingpin just mastered various martial arts that allow him to minimize damage. At least that's what I thought was in the comics.
Well, and I'm not saying Junkyard's wrong. I would say at whatever point in time, I'm rusty, haven't read up on Kingpin on paper for a good long time. So let's say that was an accurate portrayal. That was an accurate portrayal of Kingpin at one point in time. But no, he just got hit by a car. So I'm not sure which martial arts training is really going to help you. And not like just bumped by a car. I mean, it was Kate's
full
mom.
on.
For whatever her faults were, she was looking to protect her daughter full on at that moment in time, and she floored it. So that has to be whether there's, speculation carrying over from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Did Kingpin find his way to some super soldier formula, or it was Kingpin a mutant in some kind of a way, or what's the backstory of, what makes Kingpin as strong as he is in his physical body? Good questions to have.
Yep. All right. What other relationship should we talk about here?
I think we're pretty well
covered it.
I mean, there's similarities between Echo and Yelena, and they both went against Hawkeye in physical combat. So they both were for a time being an agent of Kingpin, and then turned away to go after Kingpin. I don't think they had much interaction. Maybe in the rooftop battle a little bit back. I can't say exactly which episode it was, but in that rooftop battle, they might have squared off for a bit, but it wasn't extensive. So they didn't directly interact with each other, but they had a structurally similar connection.
Yeah. One thing on Jack as a character, I felt like it was a little anticlimactic for me, because I kind of expected that. We already talked about this, but since I kind of expected the turn, it wasn't as much of a surprise. But I didn't enjoy the character as much in the finale. Just sort of seems kind of goofy, and it has that dig at his I don't know, little nephew or whoever that kid is about peeing in his pants at the Hamptons. Yeah, I don't. I had higher expectations of the character or some kind of battle of some kind, and that kind of didn't pay itself off.
So yeah, Jack's a little bit full of himself, and then he was being heroic yet played for comedy, yet being a useful assistant, but in his all these characters having an evolution or a turn in their direction of who they're going against.
Mm-hmm.
So Kate didn't read Jack the right way. She was well deceived by her mom. But just in general, that you didn't know which way Echo was going to come or go. You didn't know which way Yelena was going to come or go. So to have another piece on the board, another variable, in that way, I found Jack useful. But again, yeah, he whereas Kingpin was consistently menacing, Jack had the ambiance or the foreshadowing, especially when he held a sword to Hawkeye's neck early on. Well, that allowed for the possibility of that coming again. I guess you got to have some red herrings and some misdirection. So yeah, I see where why and where you're landing on Jack being not fully realized. But again, who knows what's to come in the future? Maybe he'll get his due in a future production.
That is true. Maybe he's not even the swordsman. Maybe it's just some guy with a sword kind of thing or whatever. I don't know. Just random things I've got in my notes about the finale. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was a very satisfying conclusion to the series. There was so much story that needed to be wrapped up by the end here. It did feel maybe a little bit rushed for me, and maybe some of the story bits seem a little bit funny. Oh, they've got costumes now. You and I dressed up one time for a comic book convention, and that was there was some amount of prep on that. It's not something that you could just do overnight. The only kind of overnight thing that I did, I was thinking about this before we joined. My son's first Christmas, we were I had ordered from Pottery Barn, one of these custom embroidered things with his name on it and stuff, and they completely botched it. They didn't tell me until like the day before Christmas or something that wasn't coming, or maybe it's 2 days before. And so then I Joanne Fabrics, that thing, and I pulled it together myself. But that was a stocking. It wasn't a full on costume, much less for two people. That is form fitting. So that seemed to perhaps a little bit rushed, but do I care? Not especially. It was still good fun. My favorite part of that was seeing the Kate and Hawkeye relationship fully come together. And have you seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, I love that. I love that movie. So that's with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I think that's how they ended up, getting together in real life. And there is just some phenomenal action scene work. And so there's that moment in this finale where they are going back to back, doing the arrows together. Love that. You kind of expected that to happen. It was also shown in the trailer that there's going to be the scene in the ice rink thing. But I love that kind of stuff, and so I enjoyed it quite a bit.
The choreography and the way it played out was really really good. Well, as far as the next live stream, again, as we said, when a similar question came to our most recent live stream, we're not exactly sure. We've got some travel schedule and holiday schedule, so we're definitely on a holiday schedule, midday weekday show here today. But you'll be the first to know. You will be the first to know of what's.
Oh yeah, they want Ed. Love that callback. Yes,
Pixar reference.
Yes, no capes
reference.
And New Year's Eve stream, yeah, I don't see that happening. That's a good idea. I don't see that happening. I mean, anybody who knows Mr. C here is that you will be asleep by about 9 o'clock.
With no shame, with, with no shame, and with full intent. Hey,
That's okay. That's okay. I'm looking at my other notes. Things that you would say about the finale that we have not covered already.
it was also interesting that in the recent release of Spider-Man, that there was some 30 Rock uh, screen time, or as a set piece. So people on other reviews and other channels were saying the events of Hawkeye had to be a day or a couple of days before. I'm sorry, after, because when they knocked the tree down. So okay, there you go. That's something in the. So interesting that there was an overlap between Spider-Man had just passed through this territory shortly before,
Oh yeah.
maybe even the same night. Who knows? But yeah, and then Hawkeye stuck in the tree. How are we going to get him down? Kate's like, I got this. He's like, no, don't do it. And but she made it and it worked. So again, you got to give her credit for sticking to her guns, or sticking to her quiver and her arrow to make it happen.
Yeah, I don't see this happening either, actually. But yeah, we got we gotta have some boundaries here. Besides, who knows? I might be sobering up still. I don't know. We have different New Year's Eves, Mr. C and I. Um, other thing. Let's see. Now, I think I've covered my. Oh, okay. One thing. Mockingbird. We talked about it briefly. Laura Barton. She's apparently Agent 19,
Agent 19.
which should mean that she is Mockingbird. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you have Adrienne Palicki as Bobby Moore. She's called Bobby throughout the whole series. I don't think they actually call her Mockingbird in the series. I don't remember
Would say right.
exactly. But she is Mockingbird. She is Mockingbird. So I wonder what's going on here. Could it be that the Mockingbird is like a mantle and it passes from one person to the other somehow?
That
Uh,
could be.
could it be just the complete erasure of Agents of Shield in the MCU?
That could be.
Uh,
And
seems most
multiverse.
likely.
Multiverse could also, that could be, because as Doctor Strange is about to, as the Doctor Strange movie is about to further explore the multiverse concept. So who knows? Maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. exists intact over here, and maybe we're in a different spot for Linda Cardellini to portray Bobby Morse, or the whole David Banner, Bruce Banner thing. So there's
Right.
precedent going back to the 70s TV show to slip a different first name on a character compared to how they were originally presented on the comic page. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I agree. I agree with Junkyard. Yeah, I don't think they ever called her specifically.
Good to have Junkyard on the fact check, on the clarification tip.
But she did have in the series the twin batons thing that was part of her fighting style. It was pretty clear that she was, and again, called Bobby Morse. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know. Uh, if I remember right, actually, with the last um, season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they tackled the multiverse in that final scene where Agent Coulson is flying away in his flying car. I think it's either the Triskelion is still there. So the it was clearly a different version of the universe, a multiverse there. And yes, yeah, Bobby Morris, Adrian Palicki did a great job. She was an awesome fighter in that series. It's a shame that that spinoff did not end up working out with Mockingbird and Hunter was
Yeah.
the other character. But yes, yeah. All right. See, Junkyard and I, we we got the Agents of Shield representation here. All right. I don't even know. How about? Yeah. No. We're not. Okay. All right. Other things that we ought to cover here, Mr. C. What have we
Well,
not covered?
usually we turn to our what's our
Oh,
future and upcoming speculations. Maybe I can get some more predictions wrong in this segment, but again, looking forward to Echo whenever and wherever it drops. Looking forward to Moon Knight whenever. I guess the wherever would be the Disney Plus channel. So that's one question answered. So Moon Knight, Echo. Now that Charlie Cox has shown himself in the Spider-Man movie, seeing more Daredevil would be great. Uh, I'd be good for some more Jessica Jones also. I'd be good for more Power Man. I'm not sure how to resolve the question of Iron Fist. I am a big fan of the classic Power Man Iron Fist partnership. Not sure how, but you know what? Hey, Feige figures stuff out. Feige figures a lot out. So I mean, whatever they figure out, it'll most likely work. So all these things on the horizon are good entertainment. Something I'm looking forward to. Uh, we could go beat by beat for the extended Marvel universe for the scorecard and see who's on first and second base and third base. I don't know, all that stuff. Add the Evan Costello bit. So just there's a lot of good Marvel entertainment on the horizon, and I'm on board. Yeah. How many exclamation points is there? All right. So Junkyard's definitely good for Luke Cage to come back to some production work, as am I. Where would you say it goes from here?
well, I would expect that Kingpin is going to be a new big bad that will hopefully have a large presence in the MCU. I don't think that this is the end of. This is probably the beginning of a grudge between Kingpin and Kate. So I expect to see more of that. I would like to see maybe some Kate woven into the Echo series along with Kingpin and the others as you had mentioned. Um, I I hope that there's going to be some kind of payoff about the watch or the exploration of who Agent 19 really is. Maybe Laura isn't even her real name. Maybe she's actually Bobby, and you know you're done, right? Maybe they handle it that way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know else. Oh, I don't expect Mrs. Bishop to be around that long. You don't drive your car into the Kingpin and get to
Yep.
live that long.
Even federal custody might not be enough to protect Mom Bishop from the far reach of the kingpin.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think. I mean, she was already on very thin ice with trying to take a step back from the Kingpin. But now, yeah, I can't imagine that she's going to be around much. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I love the series. I would hope that there may even be a second season for this thing. There hasn't been any kind of announcement as far as I've seen, but I would love to see this thing continue. Jim Campbell posts: will we see the Punisher in the MCU/Disney? Is Punisher too violent for MCU Disney? What do you think?
First, let me apologize to Mr. Campbell because his comment from the last time we aired
Oh
came
yeah.
in just as we were ending. So apologies for not getting to your previous comment, Jim Campbell. But here we go. And I'm doing like Kate Bishop, Jim Campbell. Um, I would say yes, but of all the Netflix characters, because the Punisher is a personification of violence and vengeance and one track mindedness along those concepts and along those dimensions, then it would really be an adjustment to put it together in the Disney Plus way. But again, as I said a couple minutes ago, Feige finds ways. So maybe you save the Punisher for the movie house, but then I don't think they want to go to a rated R movie just because they want to have more seats available to draw in more dollars. And Punisher could definitely be a rated R quality or rated R style character. Uh, if I have to go out on a limb, I'll say yes, I see it coming, but it'll just be a heck of a lot of reconfiguring and reworking.
I think it could be. I think it could be possible to address the character. I think you can bring it in. Uh, they may have to adapt the John Bernthal version, but for the character itself, they've had four. Man alive, I am going to get this left or right thing right in this episode. But there's been four different versions of the Punisher, right? Because you've got the John Bernthal version, and then you've got, oh man, I'm going to blank on the actor's name. Way back when, there was even a Dolph Lundgren version of the character, right? That was like in the 80s or early 90s. And then you've got, oh man, the two other guys, the two other live action. The one
Thomas,
with John
Thomas
Travolta,
Jane. Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane, thank you. And then the other one, which I've never seen. So I think there's a way that you can do it, and maybe try to reclaim the character of the Punisher a little bit and what he actually stood for. I think there's a way that they could do it that could be really interesting.
Hey, Mandarin,
the,
good to you, Mandarin.
the Mandarin, hi there, and I missed this segment. Got you all silent on loving the fanboy but loving the fanboy G-shirt. And what else we got here? Oh, let's go.
Mandarin can always watch us again another time. He's on silent, so he can't see what we're saying right now. But hey, it's good. We're always trying to live up to being too legit to quit.
That's right. Yeah. We still haven't figured out what the next live stream is going to be or when it's going to be. The holidays kind of mess it up. Well, yeah, and then Punisher showed up in the Spider-Man cut. So it can be done. There is a way to do this.
Can be done. And hey, as in certain things, there's depicting violence off screen, or again, Kingpin was still a scary dude, and he didn't really kill anybody in Hawkeye, and so I mean, there's still a way to instill fear and an intimidating presence. Punisher being maybe the opposite side of the coin from Kingpin in many ways, but I don't myself have the knowledge or the means to figure out how, but there has to be some kind of way that these experts in their field would be able to bring it to bear.
Yeah. And I also think about like characters like the Winter Soldier, right? That's an assassin.
There you go.
And there was some truly brutal moments. Say brutal. So
the way Winter Soldier took out those Starks, Tony's parents, that was brutal. That was
yes.
hard to watch, but well staged.
Right. All right. Oh, and let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh man. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's been pivoting here of how many people we got in the chat. All right. I just blocked whatever spam we had. We're getting that big now where we could get illicit spam in our live stream. All right. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up here?
Again, always glad to extend our conversation, which one could make the argument began back on the grade school playground from way back in the day. So it's great to be able to, here in the present day, in the present format, discuss that which we enjoy. So I'm looking forward to the next things that come up. And whereas we do not have a set established schedule yet at this time, just have faith, it will be coming.
That's right. Yeah. No, we've been trying. This one was an odd one since both of us are off for the break, so that's why we could do it on a school day, as it were. But usually we do these things on the weekend. Hence but in this case, because we were available, and since it's almost been a week since the Hawkeye season finale came out, thought it made sense to get together today. All right. And I agree with you. Love being able to do this with you here, Mr. C. And we also appreciate you all here joining us, whether you're watching us live as we debut this thing, or if you're watching later, we love to hear from you. So if you're watching later, please do take a moment to post down in the chat. Would still love to chat with you.
Thanks to Jim Campbell. Thanks to Mandarin. Thanks to Junkyard. And thanks to Greg Itahara. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. As always, thank you so much for watching, and be safe during this holiday season. Do take care of yourself. As always, we appreciate you. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe button. And thank you for making this all fun for us. So thanks for watching. Take care. This has been the Fanboy Cantina. See ya.